I woke up to sunlight spilling through my parents' curtains, bridesmaids downstairs, mom crying over my veil. Everything looked perfect, too perfect. Jake wasn't answering my texts. He'd said he'd check on the florist hours ago. I called, a woman answered. He's busy. Can I take a message? I froze. I'm his fiancé. It's our wedding day. Click. Silence. I tried to shake it off. Maybe a mistake, maybe a prank. But my gut twisted. Something was wrong. At the venue, I tried to stay calm. I stared at myself in the mirror, whispered, "Please don't let this be real." Then my phone buzzed, a text from Jake. "Don't come yet, something happened." That was the last normal moment of my life. When I saw him behind the church, what I discovered changed everything. I stepped out of the car, my heels clicking on the cobblestone path. The venue was buzzing, flowers perfectly arranged, guests laughing, music floating in the air. Everything was exactly how I'd dreamed, except Jake wasn't where he was supposed to be. Then I saw him, standing near the altar, but something was off. His suit was slightly wrinkled, hair messy, and he wasn't alone. A woman leaned close to him, whispering, laughing. My stomach dropped. I froze. Time slowed. The guests didn't see yet. My bridesmaids noticed my pale face, whispering, "Emily? Are you okay?" I forced myself to walk closer, heart hammering. Every step felt like walking on broken glass. Then it happened. He saw me. His face went pale. Not the nervous groom kind of pale, the caught red-handed kind of pale. Before I could speak, the woman pulled away, straightening her dress. And the impossible happened. She looked at me and smiled. Not embarrassed, not guilty, smiled. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an accident. Someone had planned this. I wanted to scream, but my voice wouldn't come. All I could think was, how do you fight the person you trusted with your entire life? When they're standing in front of you, smiling, I backed up, trembling, trying to make sense of what I saw. And that's when his best man stepped forward and whispered something I will never forget. "Emily, you need to see this." I followed the best man to a small side room behind the venue. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely open the door inside. My worst nightmare was real. Jake wasn't just talking to someone. He was with her, not in a secret corner. Not a fleeting moment. They were in a private suite, laughing, hugging, and sharing champagne. But here's the thing. The woman wasn't just any woman. She was someone I knew, someone I trusted. My childhood friend, Sarah. My brain short-circuited. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to run. But I stayed frozen. Then Jake saw me. His face twisted, not with guilt, but anger. "Emily, this isn't what it looks like." I laughed, nervously at first, then bitterly. "Oh, really? Because it looks exactly like you're kissing her." On our wedding day, Sarah stepped forward, trying to act innocent, but I wasn't listening to her lies. My heart pounded so loud I was sure everyone outside could hear. And that's when the best man said it. "You need to see the messages, Emily." Every single one. I froze. My phone felt heavy in my pocket. But I knew I didn't want to see them. But I had to, because sometimes the truth isn't just painful, it's explosive. I opened the messages, every secret, every betrayal, every lie, all laid bare in glowing text on his phone. And then I saw one name pop up that I never expected. "You won't believe who he's been messaging behind both of our backs." The messages kept coming, hundreds of them. I scrolled, numb, as Jake tried to grab the phone from my hand. They weren't just between him and Sarah. There was another name. My maid of honor, Lindsay. My best friend since high school. The one who helped me pick the dress, plan the playlist, calm my nerves. And right there in black and white, was Jake telling her he wasn't sure about the wedding? That he couldn't stop thinking about her? Last message sent at 6 a.m. that morning. My knees went weak. I dropped the phone. The sound echoed. Everyone in the hallway froze. Lindsay stepped forward, eyes wide. "Emily, please let me explain." "Explain what?" "How you were comforting me about Jake while sneaking behind my back." Jake started raising his voice, blaming me. You were too focused on the wedding? You stopped listening to me. I laughed. That bitter, broken kind of laugh that tastes like metal. You cheated because I was planning our future? The guests started noticing the shouting. My mom appeared at the door. I could see pity and horror mix on her face. And then Sarah snapped. You were never meant for him, Emily. He loves me. The room went dead silent. Jake didn't deny it. He just looked at me, eyes full of guilt and cowardice. Something in me switched off. I straightened my dress, wiped the tears, and whispered, You two deserve each other, and I deserve peace. As I walked out of that room, I thought it was over. But I was wrong, because later that night, I found out the wedding was never meant to happen at all. That night, the venue was quiet. The guests had left in whispers. The candles burned out, and my white dress looked gray under the hallway lights. I sat alone in the bridal suite, still wearing the ring I hadn't taken off yet. My phone buzzed, a message from Jake's brother. It said, Emily, you need to know the truth. Jake never planned to marry you. It was about the money. I stared at the screen, trying to process. Then he called me. His voice was low, apologetic. Jake's company was failing. He needed the marriage to get access to your dad's investment fund. He told everyone he'd figure it out after the honeymoon. My stomach turned. I'd thought the cheating was the betrayal, but this was calculation. A setup. I opened my wedding folder. Every receipt, every vendor payment. Jake had handled most of them. And then I saw the transfer logs. He'd moved thousands from our joint account the night before the wedding. The text, the woman, the chaos. It had all been cover. He never wanted a wife. He wanted a bailout. I walked outside into the cold night air, ripped the ring off, and threw it into the fountain. The splash echoed like a full stop on the life I thought I had. For the first time in hours, I breathed. But just when I thought it was done, when I was ready to disappear and start over, someone knocked on my door. The next morning, it was Sarah. And what she said next flipped the entire story upside down again. When I opened the door, Sarah looked nothing like the woman I saw at the venue. Her makeup was gone, eyes swollen, hands trembling. I need to tell you the truth, she said. I didn't answer, just stared. She took a deep breath. Jake used me too. He told me you were done, that you cheated first. He said he was going to end things with you, but he needed my help to stall you until he moved the money. I didn't believe her at first, but then she showed me her phone, the messages. Jake playing both sides, lying to both of us. He'd told her he loved her, told me he was buying a house for us, while wiring money to himself the whole time. Sarah broke down crying right there in my doorway. I didn't hug her. I didn't scream either. I just felt empty. That's when Jake texted me. One last message. You ruined everything. I stared at it, then typed back, no, I ended it. And I blocked him. Weeks later, I found out he'd fled to another state. Job gone. Reputation wrecked. The investors knew. My dad knew. Everyone knew. I went back to the fountain where I threw the ring, sat on the edge, watching the water ripple. I wasn't the same woman who woke up that morning, the one glowing with certainty. That girl died the moment I saw the truth. But the woman sitting there, she finally felt free. So yeah, I caught my fiancé cheating on our wedding day. But in a way, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because sometimes losing everything is how you finally start over.